Imagine the scene, a home that looked like a safe haven collapsing in a matter of seconds with a devastating phrase, "Your opinion doesn't matter. Empty our room. My mother and sister will live here. They are experiencing difficulties." Worse, he had everything planned in the smallest detail, even a cheap single bed ordered by the internet for his wife, as if she were an unwanted guest in her own home. Good night, listening friends. I am Andre Branco, and you are on the Blood Ties channel, where today I will share a story that will make you rethink how far the limit between family and imposition is going. Get ready for a narrative that can sound familiar to many. It was a Thursday morning when Diana's cell phone rang. On the other hand, Roman, her husband, spoke euphoric, as if he had just made the noblest decision of her life. "Diana, listen just. My mother and Svetlana are not holding back to the fields. Svetlana has lost her job, and Mom doesn't stop complaining about pain. They will come to live with us." As he spoke, Diana balanced the phone on her shoulder, trying to feed Timur, her 2-year-old son. For months they had touched this subject vaguely, always postponed, always hazy. "Roman, we already talked about it. Our apartment is tiny, barely fits us inside. It finds a way, just until they re-establish," he replied, as if temporary were not synonymous with forever in his family. The mother of Roman, Aleftrina Georgievna, was a master of emotional manipulation. A dramatic sigh, a health complaint, and the son was already melted, ready to donate a kidney if necessary. The sister, Svetlana, a 30-year-old divorced, lived with the certainty that the world owed her favors. Diana knew that script well. When Roman arrived from work earlier that day, his face conveyed a military determination. "Diana, get your things. They arrive tomorrow. Your opinion doesn't matter." She dropped the iron to fall over her son's stack of clothes. "What do you mean, my opinion doesn't matter? And where are we going to sleep?" "On the couch. For now. I've ordered a single bed for you at Wild Berries. A good mattress." Diana felt the blood boil. "A single bed? For me?" "Yeah, I get on the couch, you in the single bed, and Timur in his." It was the drop of water. A year and a half ago I silently swallowed the mother-in-law's intrusion, 10 calls a day criticizing his food, his clothes, his way of raising his son. And now, after all, she would have to give up her own room so that her husband's mother and sister occupy her space while she slept in a campaign bed like a soldier in a barracks. "Roman, are you listening to what are you talking about? Am I strange here? I have no right to my own room in my own home." "Don't overdo it, it's just for a while," he replied, already typing on his cell phone, probably choosing the cheapest model of available bed. 1,700 hryvnias with shipping. Arrives tomorrow. Diana looked at the damp floor cloth in her hands and, without thinking twice, threw him hardly on her husband's face. The shock in his gaze was instantaneous. "What was that?" "This is what I should have done for a long time," she replied, advancing to him and dismantling a resounding slap. "Did you lose your head? Your mother deserves a better bed than me." Roman took his hand to his face, stunned. For the first time, it seemed to be seeing the situation clearly. "Diana, what's going on? What's going on?" I ask. "Do you think it is normal to treat me like a maid, an intruder?" She slapped, this time with even more strength. "This is my house too, or have you forgotten?" Roman retreated, shocked. I had never seen the wife like that. "Calm down, let's talk." "I'm not going to calm down. A year and a half holding your mother telling me how to make borscht, how to change diaper, when you get pregnant again, and now I sleep in a camping bed while they take over my life." Roman was mute. Diana didn't stop. "So what? Your mother will start dictating my bedtime, and your sister will bring boyfriends home while we pretend to do not exist in the room. My mother is not like this. It's just like that. Remember when she humiliated me at Timur's christening party because my dress wasn't appropriate? Or when did I criticize the cake I ordered? Or when did it treat me like an incompetent because I couldn't change a diaper?" Roman lowered his head. It was true. Georgievna Aleftrin had the gift of overcoming all boundaries. "But it's my family. And me. I'm not your family." Diana touched him, an eye on her eye. "Roman, who am I for you? Your wife or an employee who can be dismissed when you want? He didn't have the courage to answer. She took her cell phone and started dialing. Who are you calling? For your mother. I want to congratulate her on the new room, and warn that from tomorrow I'm going to live there with her. Wait. Roman tore off her phone from her hand. Don't care about her. Why? You've made all the decisions for me. Now explain to her that her daughter-in-law goes to sleep in a single bed while her grandson hears their gossip on her parents' bed. Roman was silent, imagining the scene. After a few seconds, he murmured, maybe. It's not a good idea that they come to live here. Oh, maybe. For 5 minutes my opinion didn't matter. I rushed. No, you bought a single bed for me, Roman. You already chose the model, already paid. That's not precipitation, it's a decision. He was looking at his cell phone, lost. I will cancel the order. First, cancel their change. How old are your sister? And your mother? 50-3. 2 women perfectly able to solve their problems without invading our home and kicking me out of my room. Your mother works, takes care of the garden, travels by bus 3 times a week to find friends. Where is the disease in it? Roman realized that he had no way out. Georgievna Aleftrin was active, and Svetlana just took advantage of her brother's goodwill. But what am I going to say to them? The truth, that we are a young family, with a small child, in an apartment that is already tight to us. If she offends herself, her problem. Better an offended mother than a wife asking for divorce. The word divorce echoed like a shot. Roman looked at Diana and understood that she spoke seriously. You. Are you serious? And what did you think? I was going to accept sleeping in a single bed, put up with your mother's criticism and play your sister's life? He sank on the couch, covering his face with his hands. I just wanted to help. Roman, helping is one thing. Destroying our marriage is different. We can give money to reform their house, send food, medicine. But live here? Never. Okay. I call them tomorrow and I say we rethought. You didn't rethink. You always knew I was against it, and yet you tried to make me imposing it. That night Roman made the call. Diana heard only his part, but by tone, you could feel the dramatic of Aleftrin Georgievna on the other side. Mom, we hadn't decided right yet. No, it's not Diana's fault. It's just no space. After the call, he looked like a defeated man. She was very upset. And should I be happy sleeping in a campaign bed? Diana answered, dry. The next day, the single bed arrived. Roman tried to cancel the delivery, but the service failed. The delivery man left the package at the door. It's yours, Roman. You who ordered. He looked at Diana, who crossed his arms, waiting. What to do with that bed now? The answer was clear. It was time to choose between the family that raised him and the family he was destroying. Maybe we should be with her, Roman risked, trying one last argument. And if you need. When do you have visits? Diana raised an eyebrow. What visits, Roman? Your mother and sister. He knew there was no answer. With a sigh, he asked the delivery to take the bed back. He had to pay for the return, but the cost was small compared to the price of his dignity. For a week, Aleftina Georgievna did not call. Then the calls began, complaints about health, indirect about the ingratitude of the son. Roman suffered, but Diana didn't give in. If you want to help your mother, transfer money to the medicines. But here she won't live. A month later, the truth came to light. Svetlana got a job in the neighboring village and even a new boyfriend. Aleftina Georgievna signed up for a Nordic walk and stopped complaining about her legs. See just. Diana said, with a wry smile. Everything was solved alone, without needing our room. Roman nodded, but did not admit aloud that she was right. In winter, Aleftina Georgievna came to spend a week with them. Diana received her courtesy, prepared her favorite dishes, but kept the limits firm. When the mother-in-law tried to criticize the way Timur was wrapped for the ride, Diana interrupted her in a serene but uncompromising voice. Aleftina Georgievna, I thank you for your concern, but I decide how to dress my son. The woman squeezed her lips, but silent. The times had changed. In spring, Roman got a promotion, and and they moved to a 2-bedroom apartment. The mother-in-law soon hinted at the idea of moving, but he, remembering the campaign bed lesson, cut the conversation at the root. "Mom, now we have a room for Timur. He needs space. And where am I going to live when it gets old?" She complained. "Mom, you are 54 years old. There is still a lot of missing for that. For now, each in your home." Diana was proud. Finally, Roman had learned to say no. In summer, they visited the village. Svetlana really worked, dated a local farmer and looked happy. Aleftina Georgievna cared for the garden, attended fitness classes for the elderly and participated in a women's club. "It's good that we didn't go live with you," Diana confessed as they had tea. "Otherwise, I would have abandoned all this." Diana smiled. The mother-in-law had finally understood that the change plan would have been a mistake. At night, while walking around the village, Roman held his wife's hand. "Diana, I'm sorry for that bed story." "Why, exactly?" "For not considering you, for being willing to have you sleep in it, for putting my mother's interests above yours." She laughed. "The important thing is that you recognized." "I recognized. And I also understood that you were right when you slapped me." Diana laughed louder. "I thought you were still angry about it. At first it was. Then I realized that it deserved it." "You don't do that with your wife." Timur ran ahead, beating a twig on the rocks of the way. Diana reflected on how sometimes we need to impose himself, even if it gives those we love. That episode of the bed taught them to respect each other's limits. 2 years later, they bought a 3-bedroom apartment. Artem was born, the second child. Aleftina Georgievna was coming to help with her grandchildren, but was in a hotel and was not imposed. Svetlana married the farmer and moved to his house. Roman never ordered a campaign bed. And Diana learned that sometimes a slap at the right time is worth 1,000 words.